Hello everyone and welcome back to another Sims 3 speed build. So this is the last house I did while I was testing out my game for the building and making sure everything worked. So I believe, I don't think all of the expansion packs are in my game quite at this time. Probably somewhere around the middle of the furnishing. Like after the living room and the kitchen areas, I would have went and installed more of my expansions and then came back and continued building. So this is pretty much it. Anyway, this house comes in at 43,000 simoleons, and then it also comes in unfurnished at 23,000 simoleons. So if you want to use this house as a starter home, you may want to start out with a few more Sims than just one. And you might have to remove some of the exterior plants and the fence and things like that as well in order to bring down the price. So I don't remember a whole lot about this house because I did build this a long time ago. I believe the date on the video that I had in the file was dated sometime in April, the end of April. So that is quite a while ago. I had quite a few houses, as you can see, ready to go, finally to the end of them. In fact, I've taken quite a long break from building, believe it or not. I haven't really done a whole lot of building since. I have built one house, a rather large house, which at this time is going to be the next week's build. You know, at this time, unless I get requests or anything like that, I usually try to get the requests out first. And I just put other houses and stuff on hold. But it'll either be that house, or I even have a Sims 4 house that I might post next week. Probably it might be the Sims 4, because technically the Sims 4 house I finished that one and the large house here in Sims 3 actually in the same day. So it'll be one or the other of those. So I guess we'll just see what I feel like posting. But basically, I usually try like last week or whatever. This house would have been posted last week, except I got the request for, a family home for, that was just base game only. And I like to try to get my requests out first. If you want a request or anything like that, you can request builds. That is fine. It does not bother me any. Requesting a lot does help me come on, it helps with sometimes you're building your creator's block or whatever you want to call it. Sometimes it's just kind of nice. It helps refresh you a little bit and things like that. And you can request in various different places. If you were to go to my website, there's a place there for sending in requests. You can also request, of course, here on YouTube. I have had a few of them that's been requested here on YouTube, just a message, or you can go to my About section on YouTube, and I think there's an email address there. You can always send me an email, or like I've even gotten requests through Mod the Sims more than once, actually several times. That's actually where I get most of my requests. So it doesn't really matter to me. I don't care where they come from. So if you want something, it's easier if you could, when you put in a request, if you could please maybe give a little bit of a description of what it is that you want, just to kind of help, minimize the amount of questions that I might have. So, and of course, if you ever have a request, make sure you let me know what expansion packs you do not have. That way I do not use something that you don't have. I would hate to do a request for you and end up not having, those expansion packs, and then put in things that you can't use. So just let me know those kinds of information, and and if I have any other questions, I'm bound to ask you. But if you don't hear back from me, then I either am going to do your build and I have no questions, more than likely. So anyway, so this is pretty much the layout of the house. I can't remember 100% everything that I do, other than the fact that we do pretty much have a really small kitchen. I always have a heart, for whatever reason, I can never remember the names of those types of kitchens. I want to say galley kitchen, but I'm probably wrong. I mean, it's not really technically even in that kind of style, but it kind of sort of is. You know, it's a long rectangular kitchen with only the one, you know, basically room enough for one person to walk through it. So I don't suggest putting too many Sims in that kitchen because, as you can see, they are going to fight with each other. Only have one person trying to cook at a time. Don't be getting more in there. You can probably have them cook and have them get wash the dishes at the same time. And the refrigerator's far enough away, I would think they'd be able to get to that okay. I made sure I put it in a nice big archway. I think that is one of the biggest ones you can get in the game. It's like a 3-tile archway. So for the most part, as long as you don't have them fighting over who's cooking and who's not cooking, now that I see that I moved that sink, you may not want to have them cook and do dishes at the same time because it ain't going to happen. they're going to fight and not be able to go over there. So yeah, definitely they can use a refrigerator or anything else, but don't overcrowd them. They're just going to get mad at you and yell and stomp their feet and wave their hands and whatever else Sims do. So obviously, of course, this build was done prior to downloading the mod that moves curtains and the cabinets and things like that. So I did not do that in this, so you won't have to worry about that. I have not at this time heard back on whether or not there's a problem with downloading the lot that I just did last week. Well, of course, but then again, the time that I'm recording this, I had actually just recently put up that video. So I am pre-recording a lot of things anywhere from a week prior to them being posted, just so I can hopefully make sure I stay on schedule. Babysitting right now really has me super busy. It's like, oh my goodness, I am so busy. I'm busier now than I am during school hours and stuff. So, oh my goodness. I am having a hard time keeping up, and there's sometimes I'm going through my files over and over and over again, and I'm like, do I have this week's videos? Do I have them all done? Do I have everything that I need? I'm finding myself second guessing myself because I don't know when was the last time I did a recording. It's been a week ago. I can't remember what I did. So it's been kind of crazy. I'm definitely looking forward to the next few weeks or whatever being done and having, hopefully maybe a little bit more time to put more time towards my builds. I haven't even hardly had very much time for building, and I think that's the other reason why I'm actually low on builds in my files, because I really don't have the time. So I'm hoping I can keep up with the builds and I don't disappoint you, because most of you are here for my speed builds. Most of you are here for the lots and for the new lots and everything that I give you each week. And this is actually why I started my YouTube channel in the first place, was so I could share my lots and just get to know all of you and chat with you and all kinds of stuff. So I really don't want to get behind. I don't want to miss a week. But trying to spend enough time to build on top of making the regular videos during the week, I feel as if my 24-hour day has been shrunk down to about 6. I don't feel like I have enough time to get anything done. So, but as you can see, this is pretty much the main living area. It's not really open floor. I wouldn't consider it an open floor plan just because the kitchen is closed off to the living room. Open floor plan most generally means that the kitchen and the living room is open to each other. Not always necessarily a dining room, because a dining room a lot of times is still separate. They usually just have like a breakfast nook or something like that in the kitchen instead, or in that area. But most generally an open floor plan is the kitchen and the living room being open to each other. So unfortunately the kitchen is rather closed off. So not very open at all. And this is the one bedroom. I know what it's like to be in a house that only has one bedroom, and it kind of sucks in real life. But I don't normally in The Sims have too much trouble with it. I mean, every now and then I have Sims fighting over the bathroom, but most generally I don't usually have too much trouble. So that's why you'll see that sometimes I don't mind having just one bathroom. And besides, believe it or not, a lot of houses anyway, unless they're new, like new houses within the last, I would say 50 to 70 years, are most generally only going to have one bathroom anyway. A lot of houses that were made in the early 1900s and earlier, unless it's a really big house, and I mean a big house, they usually only had one bathroom anyway, and most of the time it was upstairs. In fact, you start getting that old, they didn't even have indoor plumbing to begin with, so usually the bathroom that they did have was just kind of thrown into some area that had, you know, maybe some kind of closet space area or something that they had just kind of sitting around. I remember this one farmhouse that we lived in, it did not have indoor plumbing, and the first bathroom it had, it wasn't even the first house on the lot, it was the second house, and the first bathroom had this like fairly large closet, I guess, when you first walked in, and it had like a slant, I feel like, I'm trying to remember, it feels like it had a slanted ceiling, but I can't quite remember. I didn't go in there very often, so I can't quite remember exactly how it looked. But all they had in there was a toilet. That was the only thing they had. Because it used, like I said, it didn't have indoor plumbing to start with. It actually had an outhouse outside. And so when they did finally get indoor plumbing, they put it in this closet. Well, of course, that toilet was not there while I was in the house. They actually turned it into like a coat closet with shelving, and let me tell you, those shelves back there were extremely hard to get to because it was all the way in the back and the ceiling was slanted and was not easy, but we mostly just stored, you know, our gloves and ice skates and things back there. So but yeah, that's usually, you know, if you're going to build an older house, you need to try to remember, so at one time there was not indoor plumbing, and sometimes the bathrooms just didn't make sense. They just didn't make sense where the bathrooms would be put because, well, they didn't have indoor plumbing to begin with when the house was built. So they're just kind of thrown in somewhere, and they don't always make sense. So, but here is the one bedroom, designed as a kid's bedroom. Just going through and doing the exterior painting. So you can see we do have a little bit of an area for the kids in the backyard, and you will be able to go fishing in that pond. I remember when I first got the Sims 3 and I was like, oh wow, this is awesome, I can go fishing. And you won't believe, I actually had my sim out there. It's funny now that I think about it. It's funny now. I had my sim out there. Literally, I had her fish for the whole entire day, from morning till dark. Of course, you know, to go eat and bathroom and stuff too, but morning to dark, I had her fishing. She never caught a single fish. I was like, what? That's because it was on the home lot and there was not a fish spawner there. So I try to make sure I put the spawners in the ponds for you so you can go fishing. That way you're not a noob like me and go fishing when there's not even a fish spawner there and catch absolutely nothing. So yeah, it's funny to think about it now, but you know how it goes. But here's the end of the video, so I hope you enjoyed. Leave your comments and suggestions below, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.